As promised in the headlines, we're going to reintroduce you to a guy named Jerome Thomas. Now, we met him once before on the show, remember? Well, if you don't, just watch this.
A lot of people can't relate to, the type of life that I lived on the streets.
In May, we brought you to the streets of Harlem and introduced you to Jerome Thomas.
My family was homeless for a long time, and basically it was a lot of hard years with drugs in the family, and my parents had HIV, and my brother and I were both involved with the streets heavily.
When they weren't on the streets, Jerome's family lived in welfare hotels, and when he was 15, his mother died of AIDS. She left him with little in the way of money, but she did give him a way out.
My mother always stressed me the importance of an education. Unfortunately, she never stressed me where to get it.
He found it through New York's Child Advocacy Network. The nonprofit agency helped Jerome win a scholarship to an elite private high school. At first, he was envious of his peers, but Jerome got past that. Within a year, he was elected student body president. And, determined to make it, Jerome applied to the closest Ivy League school he could find, Columbia University in New York City.
I must have seen Columbia every day, and it was really weird to imagine that I could be there one day.
That day came last fall, and in May, we caught up with Jerome on campus.
My name is Jerome Thomas, and I'm 18 years old, and it's my first year at Columbia, and so far I like it a lot.
When Real Life returns, we'll see how Jerome spent his first summer between semesters.
This remarkable medicine is the best ever invented for heartburn, indigestion, and pain. It has the power to start working instantly. It's the only one that relieves indigestion and the pain that comes with it. It's no ordinary medicine. It's Alka-Seltzer. That's right. No caplet, no liquid has Alka-Seltzer's effervescent power to speed relief. Plus the medicine to relieve your worst symptoms. Alka-Seltzer, the best medicine for heartburn and pain. Try great-tasting cherry, too.
Your heart's pounding.
It's terrifying.
And you feel hot. It's like a firing range.
We asked some of the hottest new comics on stage to switch antiperspirants and try Degree.
So you think this stuff works, huh?
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
I'm dry, I feel great. I feel protected. Temperature starts going up and Degree does.
Switch to the antiperspirant that's body heat activated.
Hanging out on stage, that was my friends.
I'm cool. I've got Degree.
Degree antiperspirant for an extra degree of protection.
Just checking, you know?
Hey, Snackwell's guy, you lost?
No, this is Snackwell's non-fat chocolate yogurt.
Who's gonna buy chocolate yogurt?
Now try new Snackwell's milk chocolate and milk chocolate caramel nut.
Sure, new Ultra Palmolive is soft on hands.
But it's also so tough, just a little bit gets the grease.
So all you gotta do is dunk and swish. You swish, I'll dunk.
Ultra tough, ultra soft, Ultra Palmolive.
If you want big, we mean big, moist, fluffy muffins loaded with real fruit that are no big deal to make. You want Duncan Hines' big new cranberry orange muffins. Anytime, anywhere. Duncan Hines, hot stuff.
If you want relief from minor arthritis pain, turn up the heat on arthritis. Just minutes after applying Ultra Strength Bengay, you can actually see the heat. It's the strongest, most advanced Bengay ever, with the heating power of 3 pain relievers. So turn up the heat on arthritis.
NBC Tonight, a night of moving television. That's right, Mad About You is moving to Tuesday.
Wow. Oh my God.
Then after News Radio and Frasier, it's another moving show. Yeah, Caroline in the City moves to Tuesday too. Yes! It's one-stop comedy shopping.
Savings are extraordinary and they have a huge selection.
NBC Tonight.
Dateline Tuesday. If a twister was headed your way, you'd want to know about it before it's too late. So why wasn't this town warned in time? Dateline Tuesday.
Each day, Maria is cast out upon the land.
You don't want to try the land?
I don't want to do it. It can be a dangerous land, and she carries no weapon, only the shield of self-respect. Tyrants tempt her with forbidden offerings, but she rejects their advances.
Look, I said no, man.
And when she returns from her journey, she is one day stronger, one day wiser, one day freer.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. If you just tuned us in, stick around. We've got plenty ahead in real money.
take charge of your finances. Also, a slice of real life, how one woman is cashing in on $1 million dream. And later, we'll hear from you, the viewers, from our real life feedback line. But first, our cover story, and for that, let's go over to Ken. Ken?
All right, Lou, thanks a lot. His name is Jerome Thomas, and his story is nothing short of remarkable. We first introduced you to Jerome back in May. At that time, he gave you a glimpse of his rough life, growing up in the streets of Harlem, being homeless, and the heartache he suffered after losing one of the true inspirations and sources of inspiration in his life, his mother. She died of AIDS. But Jerome Thomas struggled to make it, defying the odds when the odds were clearly stacked against him. And now, he's opening an exciting new chapter in his life, a chapter that brings some new fears and challenges as well. So, today, Jerome's story continues in his own words.
My whole life has been pretty much doing things I never thought I would do. You know, I never thought that I would make it to Columbia, just like I never thought I'd be wearing a shirt and tie every day of the week. This is Smith Barney. This is the second leading investment firm in the country, I think even the world.
21 points to 56.03. It was a losing day for NASDAQ, down 12 points to 11.41.
I'm starting at the bottom, and then the process goes up and moves on. It moves around this big circle.
Hi.
How you doing? I'm Jerome Thomas. Nice to meet you. All right. I'm an intern here for the summer.
Oh, really? Which department are you in?
Actually, I'm working right across the hall down in managed accounts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, my mother used to always stress to me that, you know, it's always good to make a good impression. You know, wherever I go, I try to fit in with everybody. And, you know, I came down here to Wall Street and down to Smith Barney, and I saw that people don't dress like they dress uptown. So I had to put on a shirt and a tie, and I had to shave, and I had to let my hair grow. You know, it's a whole different way of looking down here. Well, right now I'm just, you know, looking for some files for some clients. And I spent about the last 45 minutes looking for this file, and it's not been very lucky. It's frustrating when you have about 300 boxes to look through, and you don't really have a very good tracking system to find the file itself. Out in the streets, is, you know, you get what you want done, however you can get it done. And here at Smith Barney, if you want something, it's not as easy as just stepping on somebody and getting them to get it for you. You know, everybody, like I said, works together, and you know, when you step on somebody, then you know it breaks the whole process down. And basically, I play by the rules, and I'm not a revolutionary. You know, the way I've looked at it is I've seen the entire spectrum of life. You know, I've seen how it feels and how it is to be rich, and I know how it is and I know how it feels to be poor. And I just want to get everything in between and be able to relate to people, you know, because I'm a people person, you know, and that's what, you know, business is all about. It's about knowing people, it's about being able to relate. Whenever I walk past a homeless person, you know, I don't forget where I've come from. You know, I know that at one point, you know, that was my family situation. And it's not that I feel pity, but I can relate. Sometimes I am a bit scared that, you know, along the path somewhere, something will break down and, you know, everything else will break down. You know, I'm the only one down here. It's not like I have my friends, you know, who I'm familiar with, who I've grown up with. I know life is all about making new friends, but sometimes old friends help. Like a lot of the times, I do feel guilty that I've made it so far, and that, you know, I have so many of my friends who haven't made it. But it's like, I always think it's my fault, but I'm at the point now where it's not entirely my fault. You know, like a lot of these kids, a lot of my friends just don't want to take the extra step, don't want to try to live up to their potential. You know, it's like this constant strive to just be teenagers, but yet everybody has to grow up sometime. This is the Marble Collegiate Church, and as a matter of fact, it's kind of ironic that the Prince George, one of the welfare hotels I lived in, is right down the street. And tonight we're having an award ceremony in here, and I'm giving a speech. Basically, they're the ones who took me out of the Prince George, my family out of the Prince George, and really got us away from that whole type of lifestyle.
Jerome has just completed his first year at Columbia University with the GPA of 3.7. Now we'll hear from Jerome Thomas.
Good evening. All right. I don't have a speech prepared, but you know I don't want to prepare a speech. I'm just going to talk to y'all. I think that you can't really measure potential, but yet we all pretty much have the same amount in us. And there are those of us who are just going to let it sit there, and there are those of us who are going to strive to live up to it. It's not so much, having the potential. I mean, that's not the only thing. It's also where you put all that potential, where you're going to strive at. And for a while, I thought that the only place I could strive was the streets. And I found out the hard way that that wasn't the place. Every time, I do something, whether it be in school, whether it be outside of school, my mother's always my inspiration. My mother was dying of HIV. I was the only one with her. My sister was in foster care, and my brother was in West Virginia in college. I basically nursed her. It got to the point where I had to, like she was a baby, watch after her and make sure she had little necessities and, just tried to make it as easy as possible for her before she passed away. And, like I said, she didn't want us to repeat her mistakes. She wanted us to learn from them and build more families and keep rebuilding. Well, my youngest sister, Adrienne, she lives out in Jamaica, Queens, which is, one of the worst neighborhoods you can live in New York. And I'm really afraid for her. It's just so hard to, work down in one of the leading investment companies and think that, down in Jamaica, Queens, my sister is having so many problems. She's been in foster care for a long time. And they're thinking about putting her in a group home. Well, my brother and I don't really want that to happen. So my brother and I both decided that he'll become a foster parent and take my sister on as his foster child. And we both think it'll work. We think it'll be better than everything in the past. I think that in order for me or my brother to get anywhere, I think that we have to make sure that our sister comes with us. I think it would be selfish and in a sense wrong if we make it and she doesn't. We have to make it together as a family first.
And that is very important. And we're fortunate enough to be joined here in the studio by the man of the hour, Jerome Thomas. Jerome, thanks for coming by.
No problem.
Spending a little time with us here in the studio. Well, as you mentioned there, the importance of family. You have to make it together. Where does that issue stand right now with your little sister and your other brother?
Well, she just switched foster parents, and her new foster parent is actually my older brother.
So what happened?
Yep. My family's basically been reunited, and it's taken a few years, but this is what we've all wanted.
Is it relief for you?
A big relief, because for a long time, I saw my sister out there in Jamaica, Queens, and it was really hard for me to, be with her. And now, she's right there next to me.
Man, that's fantastic, having the whole family unit together again.
Exactly.
Another relief must be having freshman year out the way. I mean, as tough as I've heard that can be. How did you enjoy your experience?
Well, it was a lot easier than people said. I went in there with a lot of fears about how well I would do. But after separating the time to party and the time to study, I really was able to come out ahead.
And how much party, how much study? More party, less study?
I try to keep it right about even.
Equal, right? It's an important balance.
Yep.
You got to keep that going. Do you live in the dorms? Where do you live?
Actually, I live in an off-campus house. It's for multicultural people. It's basically a chance for people with mixed backgrounds to come together and teach the Columbia community about multicultural issues.
Oh, that sounds important. In fact, good food there?
I cook my own food.
Oh, you're doing the cooking? Can you cook?
A bit.
You ain't poisoning nobody in the house?
No, not yet, no.
Not yet, anyway, right? Well, now that you've got your summer internship sort of out of the way, what are your other summer plans? Do you have any?
Well, actually, a couple of my friends who I've grown up with are actually going to the private school that I went to. And, I'm basically going to stick around for the next few weeks and give them the lowdown on private school and some of the things they can expect, just things to make their private school experience a lot easier than it was for me.
That's dynamic, the way that you continually want to give back to the community. That's real important.
I try.
And you're doing it marvelously. I have a question, though, because you're probably now just trying to get through school and put things in order, but there seems to be a lot of media attention that's been almost thrust upon you. How's that affecting you? I mean, do you like it? Is it?
Well, like, after the initial shock of, seeing my head swell from seeing myself on TV, that's when I realized that, that isn't why I did this, Somebody said to me that my story was inspirational, and I had the chance to really get my message out, and I want to get it out, by whatever means I can to as many people as I can, especially young people.
And might there be talk of a film or something? I mean, has it come to that level, or has it gone there yet?
Maybe. I've heard some people speaking.
Oh, yeah?
But it's just an idea.
Who you want to play you?
Me?
Yeah.
Is it possible for me to play me?
Or who would you like to see? Maybe even yourself? Who would you like to see as an actor playing you?
Maybe, what about that guy Doogie Howser?
Oh, get Doogie up on the scene. Yeah, because he was brilliant. Yeah, just like you.
Maybe.
Well, Jerome Thomas, thank you for coming by once again.
It was my pleasure.
Continued success to you and your family now that they've been reunited.
Thanks a lot.
And we've got a third installment on your series coming up, so we'll definitely look forward to that.
Okay.
All right, man.
Great.
Good luck. Lou, back to you.
Doogie Howser, right, you guys? That's great.